Good evening, everybody. This is Jim Dabbelt coming to you on this Sunday evening, right before the big Michael Jordan part 5 and 6 and the Last Dance series. Everybody's going to be watching that. So we're going to be on here at 8 o'clock. And this is a special guest with me this week is a young lady who basketball fans back in the early 2000s got a chance to see. And she left her mark in every court she attended, every court she played on in high school, especially. Brittany Smart. Brittany, welcome back, and thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
Awesome. It's been a long time. You and I go back a ways, and it's always great talking to you. It's been a while, as we talked about, but you know, your connection to the area basketball scene with your dad coaching and your great career, obviously you left a great mark in this area. So congratulations on a great career in this area.
Oh, I appreciate it. No, it's a great place to start and keep going from there. So
you played 3 high schools in the area. You played at Troy Christian, Southeastern, and then you graduated from Springfield Shawnee, the home of the Braves, in 2003. You scored almost 2,200 points, which you're in the 2,000 point club, which is an elite club when you think about, especially back then, you only played 20 games in a season plus tournament. But there has to be a lot of memories, a lot of great memories that come to mind at any of the schools you played at. Are there a couple of big memories that are sticking in your head that you think about and it's almost like it happened yesterday for you?
Yeah, there are a couple memories, probably one from each school. Troy Christian we were the underdogs. You know, Dad sort of got the program going, and you had that fighter mentality, that underdog that you didn't want to be looked down upon. You wanted to beat the big guys. So our biggest rivalry, and what I remember from there, is Troy Christian versus Troy Public. We're always going to battles. They would always, kill us. And then we finally got our revenge. And I remember we were finally coming on the map. We set up a game with them. I think it was in Pickle. I'm not even sure what court it was. We didn't have a home court, Troy Christian. So we were playing where anyone would take us, kind of thing. A little bit of street ball, I suppose. Right. We were running gun, full court press. They had their half court offense, and we just worked them to death. And I think we started off that game 21 to zip. We were up, and we ended up winning by 10. So that was kind of the mark of, hey, hard work, full court game. Maybe the game started to change a bit instead of just half court offense.
Right.
But that was a really big memory and where I gained a lot of confidence.
Okay, and then you went to
Southeastern, mid-state, Final Four. I mean, that was huge. Going there, they already had a good reputation as far as basketball. I had some good players next to me and some unselfish players where we all kind of let other people shine. But they did really rally around me as being a new girl just coming in as a junior at an already established program. They did take me on. They took on the new style that Dad brought in as well. But making the state Final Four, I mean, that's amazing just because you always want more than individual accolades. You want to win with the team. You want to be known as a winner.
Absolutely. And then you finish your career at a Springfield Shawnee out on Possum Road in Springfield. And, your dad coached you at Shawnee, if I'm not mistaken on that. Am I right?
Yep.
Talk about that season. That was a great season for you.
Yeah, it was. I was at the end of Southeastern. I was at the top of my career as far as getting to the state, winning basketball. And then I was going to a program, and this is a true test, of going to a program who only won 2 games the year before. So it was a whole nother experience. How can I, again, establish myself in the trust of others to become a winning basketball team? So we turned that program around, and we ended up winning 17 games that season.
Wow.
And I think that was just another confidence boost of how versatile I can become, how well can I work with others and instill confidence and genuine trust and belief and get that reciprocated back. And then we ended up winning the conference title, the first one ever in Shawnee and the first one still, I believe. So, that's kind of where I ended my high school career. And again, another winning season, which was more important than the individual stuff, really.
Definitely. What was it like playing for your dad?
I enjoyed it. Obviously, when he decided to take different job opportunities, I followed him. I didn't have to. He didn't force me to and, things like that. But he was the first person in my life as far as on the court. Obviously, my mom was a big part of it too. But establishing belief in my skill and what I can do. And then if I add hard work to it, a lot of good could come my way.
Definitely. Obviously, you then went on to an outstanding career at Cedarville. Kind of talk about, kind of summarize how your career went in college, because obviously you came out, you could have gone a lot of places, I'm sure, and you chose Cedarville for a reason. And they're a great program. You know, Kirk's done a great job out there, and now, you know, they have a new staff out there now, last few years. But talk about what Cedarville did for you.
Well, I wanted to go to a place where, again, I knew that people were genuine about my success and the fact of they wanted me to succeed, and I had that good support system already established there. And then when I met with Kirk and the coaches and the teams, I realized they're really playing unselfish basketball, and that was the type of environment that I really wanted to play for. So I signed early, quite a bit early. And obviously the you know, establishing the belief in God and unselfish basketball, unselfish lifestyle, I think that kind of gave me a bit of security and comfort knowing I was going with teammates who had that same intention, with how they live, and then obviously how they play, that would carry over and fall into the basketball world. But again, it was because of that, you know, it's not necessarily what I realized was how big of a school you can go to. It's what kind of program they have. So I was going to play at a college where I enjoyed the program or liked the program, didn't really care about the name about it. If I'm supposed to get this or that or keep playing, that's going to happen no matter what school I go to. I just had to trust that. Yeah. So, so during college, it was basically because of that environment, we won 4 straight conference titles. Every single year we won. Yeah. And that led to some individual accolades as far as, you know, most points in college, you know, making the NAIA, you know, Final Four, NAIA Player of the Year, senior year. So a lot of individual stuff did come from that, but I don't think it would have if that team focus wasn't there first.
Right. Like you mentioned, you got Player of the Year in the nation in NAIA, which is quite an accomplishment. And then you got a chance to play several years, and you still are playing several years of professional basketball. You're wearing a Dayton, Ohio shirt or hoodie today, but where are you at right now? And kind of tell me about your pro career.
Yeah, right now I'm in Melbourne, Australia.
My second Australian in 2 weeks.
Yes, that's right. Well, you know, they have great basketball. You know, on the world stage, they're always second in the Olympics behind America. A lot of established Aussie players are playing in the WNBA, and there's a lot of WNBA that are coming and playing in the WNBL in Australia because we have opposite leagues at the time. So we play during the American summer, or we play during the American winter, and WNBAs during the American summer. So we're able to flip-flop and share. And I think that's done on purpose because, you know, obviously America's number one, but Australia's in that top 5 with a few other countries as far as talent in the league and league competitiveness. So I've been playing here in WNBL for about 5 years. Before that, I was in Sweden for 4 seasons. And then I started out my professional career 2 years in Belgium. I've had lots of different life experiences, you know, adapting to different cultures, languages, injuries, moving, again, gelling with different teams. So I'm just thankful that I still get to play, that I've been healthy, been trying to change things every year just to keep myself on top. But it's been a great journey.
And, you know, obviously you're still playing at a high level. I'm assuming obviously you're you know, playing in, now how many total years is this now for you for professional? 8?
Goodness. So that would be 6, like around 12 or 13. There's a gap year in there. So I think I'm 14 years or so out of college. Had a gap year, I think once or twice during moving countries.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But you're still playing at a high level. You're playing against the best players. You know, your league is I'm assuming is the highest league in the country in Australia, or, you know, with great players. And you're still competing, and I'm assuming you're going to compete until you just can't compete anymore. It's like, you know, you're going to give it everything you have until you finally decide, you know, I think I've had enough. And, you know, you've had a great career so far, so I'm assuming that you're just loving what you're doing right now.
Oh yeah, I'm loving it. I love how I have had the opportunities to recreate myself. It's sort of just another challenge. I still have that competitive drive, and I still have the drive to try new things. How can I form or change my game to fit this team or this role or this country? You know, that's still there, to be inventive or reinvent myself in a certain way. make myself as versatile and as valuable as possible in all aspects of the game, even though I did start out as a main scorer. You know, being well-rounded, am I still of value if I'm not scoring or have to guard somebody or shut someone down? I love that challenge. And yeah, that drive is still there. So.
And that's what I was going to ask you. As you get older, and that's absolutely with respect, as you get older, do you have to change your game a little bit? Because the new young people come in that are 21, 22, 23, maybe quicker now, you know, as you get older. Do you have to see your game changing a little bit as you've gotten older?
Yeah, you definitely change. And it's not that you forget everything and you completely, you know, do a 180 and turn the other way. Right. You know, you still take that. And it's not that I'm changing, I'm adding more tools. Okay. So I can still pull out the old school tools if I need to take over, or if I feel like this is my game or whatever. But I have other tools to also supplement someone else who it's their time. Or if, hey, sometimes, you know, scoring is shutting someone else down because the other team isn't scoring. Can I score in that way? Can I score and getting my feet in the paint and then kicking, not necessarily taking the shot? So yeah, it's definitely not changing. It's just continuing to add tools, keep sharpening the other ones. So now and again, I can still pull out, but I've done so many reps with that's just, you know, second nature. But continuing to add different tricks or go-to moves is always on the table for, especially during off season, trying to recreate yourself in different ways.
So maybe your game isn't changing. You're just growing and doing different things.
Yeah, I'm more versatile. No
Excellent.
question.
One thing you obviously have to do is be in great shape as you try to compete with the younger players. And I've seen some of your videos, and you are in incredible shape. You know, you've done some great things to transform your body into what it is now, on and off the court. You know, not only are you teaching basketball to kids, you're also in great shape and teaching that also to other people. So why don't we give you some time now to talk about what you're doing now and kind of break down the website you have and kind of talk about your life now.
Yeah. So right now, especially during this unprecedented time, I've had a lot of time to really focus on my personal training, personal coaching business. So my website is brittsmart.com. It's pretty simple. Just putting my name in there. Yeah. And people can follow me on Instagram, obviously at bmsmart6. But basically what I'm doing, when I first started out, step one was let's just, you know, video or take a photo or just log everything that I'm doing as an athlete. I'm just going to share my knowledge of this is just what I'm doing. People can watch. And then as that grew, I always done some coaching on the side, but as that grew, I started just putting more and more content on there of how it could help other athletes. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be athletes. I do a lot of that fitness side where it's people who just want to move better. You know, it can be adults, it can be parents, it can just be, you know, they just want to feel good and move a bit. So I started just to log all that and then, you know, continuing to study. I'm taking a course right now. I'm in a coach's evolution class every other week. I myself I'm a client to someone in the States, actually, knees over toes, just to bulletproof my knees and ankles and all that stuff and get strong at the end range of motion. So everything that I do or that I prescribe for my clients, I'm still doing myself. So I do my own programs and then I'm still getting coached as well. So I love how, you know, I have that experience. I'm not just saying, hey, do this because it's good for you, but then I'm not doing anything myself. So I think that's super important to do your own stuff. But basically I'm someone who strength and conditioning, you know, helping people move and get fit. You can be an athlete or not, doesn't really matter. Move well, move better in life. I do have a lot of basketball athletes as well as clients, you know, we're working on your game. And then I also coach something that's like bridging the gap. All right. So bridging the gap would be, you know, you can do strength conditioning. You can be an athlete, or let's say you want to just be a jumper and move better and do a bit of plyometrics and be a bit nimble. All right. But how are we bridging that gap between, you know, deadlift, squat, running and jumping and being athletic? So I'm really trying to kind of meet in the middle and do things that will supplement real life, I suppose. You know, when you squat down to pick something up, a lot of times you are on your toes. Can you get up out of a squat from your toes? You know, there's just different things like that I try to, whatever is real, whatever the goal is, try to implement that or recreate that in the gym. So really trying to bridge the gap a bit.
So if you had advice to give to kids today, or parents who are watching this that have kids that are playing sports, you can't get into the gym right now, at least over here. You can't. You can't get into your high school because they're closed till the end of June. The Ys are closed right now until the end of the month in Ohio. What kind of advice do you give to kids that are like, what do I do? How do I stay in shape? Because I got a big, we may or may not play basketball this summer. AAU is very much in jeopardy. Fall sports are semi in jeopardy. So what do you do? What do you tell a kid who right now from Ohio, for example, it's like, what do I do, Brittany? What's my best optimal way to stay in shape right
I think the biggest thing is, find a basketball role model or coach who can have a program for you, first of all. So you're, one, creating a habit to be consistently out there 3 to 4 times a week at least, and you can have that schedule where it's skill day, running day, power day, or, whatever it is. But I think you really need to educate yourself on who's the right coach for you, who maybe has that mix, basketball knowledge, but also jumping knowledge, but also strength conditioning knowledge, so you feel like you're really well-rounded and you're learning new things and moving forward. But yeah, the biggest thing is to, get out there and just try something. Once you have your goals and you realize you actually want to progress, if you're not moving forward, you're kind of moving backwards. Now you have to have it getting out, find a program or Zoom sessions or virtual training where you can actually have mindful training, intentional training, and I think that was the biggest thing. The first few weeks, it was tough, but now that you're out there moving, let's be intentional with what you're doing. Let's focus on it. Let's be mindful. How you become those 3 things is you're going to have to probably find a coach or find someone to take you through sessions.
Definitely. I looked at some of your Instagram stuff, and one of them has you on a bike, and then you did some push-ups with dumbbells, I guess, and whatever that is. And one of the things in there said, take your break, something like take a break as needed, like take rest. I'm like, so does that mean I can rest for like 3 hours between this? Because I would probably need 3 hours to do what you did. But no, seriously, check out our Instagram page if you guys want to see some inspiration and try to maybe pick up some tips, because it's a great way. Visual stuff from people that can do it like you is a great teaching tool.
Yeah, DM me. I think that's the type of message I want to get out, is being all around and being versatile. So of course I added that to my game, but then even as a human being, what's your morning routine like? Do you have a mindfulness moment or activity, like going on walks? Are you then educating yourself? Are you doing what you're educating yourself on? And then how are you portraying that message or that knowledge? No reason to keep it to yourself. All my coaches and trainers, if they kept all their knowledge to themselves, I wouldn't be where I am today. Right. So thinking about what your daily habits are, what they look like, your nighttime routine, to wear your blue light glasses to make sure you can get proper REM sleep or slow wave sleep. So I'm really trying to produce the all-around human being. If your goal is movement, to move better. If it is to be jumpy and plyometric, and then, direct it to that certain sport, if that's what you want. But yeah, I think that bridging that gap and doing a little bit of everything creates freshness, excitement, versatile, variety. But yeah, so I try to post that a little bit on my Instagram as a little bit of this and that through my experiences and study.
Yeah, I would suggest people that are watching this to add her on it, because it's pretty inspirational. To do what you're doing is really great, and people can, like I said, pick up tips. Another person that we both have learned from, that we just talked about earlier tonight, is Jimmy Clayton. And Jim and I do a thing every year. We have something in August coming up, and it's called the Power Shift that we've started last year. This is our second year for the Power Shift. I go down to Sports City for that. And Jim is no stranger to you. You said you just talked to Jim not too long ago for a good couple of hours. I personally think he's the best basketball trainer in our region. So give me your thoughts on the relationship you guys have. Obviously he's retired, so he's, still loves the game of basketball, retired from teaching, but still doing basketball with the kids. Your thoughts on, obviously your relationship with Jim.
Yeah, he was a big influence in my life. Obviously, my dad got me started as far as self-belief and discipline. I had a personal trainer in Troy, actually, as well, who Chastity Sloan, who got me started on hard work, being as strong as you can. How good can you become if you never got tired, you know? And then my next step, a big influence, my senior year in high school, is Jimmy Clayton. Jimmy Clayton then really broke down basketball moves. He broke them down, made it simple, efficient, effective, easy to understand. And we just practiced them over and over and over. So he really taught me consistency.
Yeah.
But more importantly, his passion for the game. He glows when he steps in the room. You gravitate towards him. When he speaks, you stop and you do listen. You know, so he has that kind of pull. He knows what he's talking about. He's been experienced in many ways, and he has a lot of knowledge, and he understands what athletes, especially basketball players, especially young youth ones, really need. So we got along great. We talked for 2 hours on the phone the other day, and I'm still learning from him.
Yeah, he's definitely he's a one of a kind. And I don't know of anybody that does what he does that has more energy than Jim Clayton. You know, he's tremendous at that. But well, Brittany, I really appreciate talking to you tonight. Brittany, and most of you know, of course, the book that I'm writing is, I actually started that last weekend. I'm starting to gather information from different former players, and Brittany has made the cut, so to speak, the cut, so to speak, as well, and has been will be listed among the top players in the last 30 years. And by all due rights, with the career you had, and you know, you scored a lot of points, you did a lot of things. You know, there's more to basketball than scoring points, as you said. And even though you did score a lot of them, you were a pretty solid all-around player. And I'm really excited to have you part of what I'm doing, and looking forward to maybe touching base with you as we get closer to the book signing or release, and kind of maybe you know, if you get a chance to make it back, kind of see what happens. But you know, obviously your schedule's crazy over there, but obviously we're going to do what we can to get some of the people back over here to do, you know, some stuff at some point next year. So Brittany, thank you so much for everything you've done in the game. You've always been a supporter of mine, and I've been a big fan of yours, so I appreciate everything.
Oh, well, thanks, Jim. I appreciate it. What you're doing to, you know, keep us old basketball players alive and still relevant, so to speak. And what you're doing for the game, even at the moment, is really cool. So I'll be watching, I'll be following you, and look forward to your book.
Thank you, Brittany, and take care of yourself, and be safe down in Australia.
All right. Thanks, man. Take care.
Thank you.